Oh, it's gonna start. Hang on. I got a lot of people filter in here. No, this is okay. I'm not upset. It's other people that are upset. And I know why. Actually, I do know why. I know why a lot of people are upset is because I think some people. I know a lot of people felt insulted when I said. I think the words were, I don't know how the kids will like it, but I don't know how any adult fan could possibly back up Nintendo. I think I said that, and people were really insulted. So honestly, I do apologize for saying that. If you were insulted, I did go too far on that. But on the other hand, really, like if I were to do it again, I wouldn't say that. But in another way, I kind of don't regret saying it because I do and I don't. So you come on the site, you know who I am, and you know what I do. And this is the internet. You can't afford to go on the internet and have such thin skin when it comes to a fucking game. So I'm kind of two minds about the whole thing. Where I do feel bad that people were legitimately hurt. But it's not like I insulted your mother or I called you a racial epithet or something. I was like, I called Nintendo stale, and I really don't know why people I really don't know why people keep giving Nintendo money for essentially the same product over and over and over again. It's quiet. Hang on. Let me see if I can up the volume. Give me 1 second. No, I know, and I know you don't agree with me on that. Ironbite, I know you don't agree with me. Oh yeah, the kitchen. Yeah, it is dirty. I just got finished making some food, so I'm gonna clean it. I also got. You see Taco Bell? Where's Taco Bell? I don't see Taco Bell. Hang on, I'm still working on the microphone. Let's see, properties, levels. How about now? Is it any better? I'm good? Okay. Still quite getting better. How about now? We're at 87. Fuck it, I'll go to 100. Here we are, we're at 100. This is at 100, so I don't think it's going to get any louder. You want me to mod people? I don't know anybody here, so I don't. Who do I trust? Oh, I know. I'll mod Sean here. How do I do that? Oh shit! I think I timed out Sean. I didn't mean to time you out, dude. How do I cancel it? No. I timed him out. I'm sorry. Oh, he's mad. I just fucking mute suplex Sean. If I see Benzai, I'll give him mods too. Unban hope within chaos. Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry, dude. Okay. So I know I'm not going to get upset over this because that's really why I'm kind of amazed. That's why people are like, I know I basically bitch slap Nintendo fans. Okay, I did that. I bitch slap Nintendo fans right across the face. But it's the fucking internet. Like I don't care. You come to my. I really don't care that you could come to my forum and say, well, you're a stinking retro PC gamer bitch, and what the fuck do I care what you have to say? Exactly! You get it! Like, you get that I love retro PC games. You get that I love older console games. I grew up in the 90s, so my favorite games come from the 90s. And yeah, I want to see new stuff. It really makes me sad that it really makes me sad that Nintendo is so mired in the past. Like they're really groundbreaking when it comes to new ways of playing games. Like the motion control, the Wii is big. Nobody had done that before. Nobody had come forward and changed the way people play games. I was all about that. Now, I don't think it worked that well. I don't think the Wii ever worked as well as it was promised. I still feel like the Wiimote, it feels like dragging the cursor underwater. I still feel like it's slow, it's unresponsive, and it's imprecise. But that's neither here nor there. They tried, and I can appreciate the fact that they tried. But it's the games that never really caught up. And okay, there's lag. What's lagging? The sound in the video? I can try. What I'm doing is I've got this headset. Okay, if there's no lag, okay. If the lag between the sound and video, I'll switch to the webcam microphones are really bad. In my experience, they are. The room is now in slow mode. Okay, so. But yeah, if you think I'm gonna get on here and start raging on you guys, I'm not, because if you disagree with the Nintendo rant, okay, that was the point. It was kind of the point to stir debate. But I think a lot of people, I think people get really, they get hurtful and they get hurt. So the people who get hurtful are the kind of guys who are calling for my blood on the message board, and the people who get hurt really seem to take what I say really personally. That when I say who could possibly back up these games, and they go, well, that's me. Does that mean you think I'm an asshole? No, I don't. I think you're wrong, but that's just me. That's. And really, I don't care if you like Nintendo. There were thousands. Seriously, like here's the thing. I put on the video. I put Ben at the Sage, Gavin Green, Pat the NES Punk, Psycho Taku, and Jew Wario. 5 people, 5 journalists who were all very excited about the Wii U and the entire Nintendo lineup. I alone was the dissenting opinion. Okay, there were thousands of people at E3, thousands of them checking out the 3DS, thousands of people playing Zelda in line. So what does that say? That who is more likely to be wrong here? Like I'm comfortable being a dissenting opinion. I am hard to impress. You know what I mean? So, pardon me. I'm hard to impress. And I am likely to disagree with a lot of people who, and the thing is, like, Jew Wario is not mad at me. At least I don't think he is. He was, by the way, Jew Wario was a great guy. I actually kind of treated him badly. I think I kind of guilted him into doing stuff, and I didn't mean to. I kind of made a joke, like, he got me a T-shirt for Aliens Colonial Marines, and he goes, I got an extra large and a large, and he hands me the large, and I say something like, well, I usually like an extra large to hide my gut, and he goes, oh, okay, and he hands me the extra large, and he kept the large, which probably wouldn't have fit him because he's taller than me, and I felt horrible. It was that kind of thing where I kind of made a joke, and he took it seriously, and I felt bad. But anyway, it was a really minor thing. I felt terrible. Jew Wario was a great guy. And so, but nobody was mad at me. Pat the NES Punk was probably, if anyone was mad at me, it might have been him, because I did kind of savage the Nintendo on him. But even he, it's not like he's not talking to me. But yeah, I think you have to understand my role. I'm sorry, I was Hope Within Chaos sent me a message. But you have to understand my role, and you have to understand that I am a very minority opinion when it comes to the Nintendo. I am essentially the crazy fucker on a street corner who's holding a sign up in the air going, "The end is nigh." It really, I hate to say it, but I have essentially no press credibility here. People are coming to me like, people are saying like, "Oh, you weren't fair. You weren't." I remember seeing a bunch of comments saying like, "Spoony is so biased. He was completely unfair to the Nintendo. He didn't even pretend like he was going to give both sides of the argument here." I'm like, what site have you been going to for the last 3 or 4 years? And I know, and somebody actually responded. They're like, "Well, you got an E3 on a media badge." Yeah, I did, because I'm media. But that's not to say that a media or a journalist can't be editorial. That's not to say that a journalist can't have an opinion, especially me. Now, let's just put the debate to rest right now. I am biased. So, unless I'm a robot, it's impossible for me not to have a bias. So okay, and I have an opinion, and that's the thing. So like, I really don't understand why people are coming to me horrified that I came into this with an opinion. But that's not to say, and here's the other thing, that I can't change my opinion given evidence that go against my presuppositions. Good example, if you watch my vlog of X-Men First Class, I came into that movie with the worst fucking attitude. I could not have wanted to hate that movie more. And I loved it. It was a great movie. It was a great comic book movie. So that's not to say I can come in with it. Like, if Nintendo had shown me something at E3, I would have told you. If they had impressed me in the slightest, I would have told you. If Zelda looked different, I wouldn't have gone, "Oh, well, it's a Zelda game and you fight a pigman at the end. It's essentially the same game." No. I sat there and I watched fucking Zelda for 20 minutes. And if you'd have put that up against Twilight Princess for 20 minutes in a dungeon, I would not have been able to tell the difference. And that's all that's what I'm telling you with the Zelda. So, and then I get a lot of calls of hypocrisy. No, I played it. I had to watch it to get footage, but I played it as well. I couldn't get footage of me playing the game because I was the only guy holding the camera. But how much did I play? 10 minutes. Everyone got just about 10 minutes. But, and here's the thing, I got a lot of cries of hypocrisy because, and this is a problem I really have with the argument. Hang on a second. Linkar, you gotta say something so I can mod you. But this is the part of the argument that really bothers me. Is that they call me a hypocrite, and they start bringing up other games. For instance, here's the most common argument I got against my Nintendo thing. Okay, they say you're a hypocrite because you were excited about Mass Effect 3, Skyrim, and Deus Ex. All of those are sequels. So, and you're kind of comparing apples and oranges, and it's also called a straw man argument. Okay, so here's how I diffuse these arguments. No, I'll explain to you why it's not a good argument. For instance, if you say that, well, first-person shooters haven't evolved since 1995 either, or if you say, well, just look at Halo. Halo hasn't changed either. That doesn't help you. That's like you drawing on the wall in kindergarten class, and the teacher says, "Why were you drawing on the wall in kindergarten class?" And you point to your friend over there and said, "Well, he started drawing on the wall first." That doesn't change the fact that you were drawing on the wall. Pointing at Halo and saying that Halo has not evolved either does not change the fact that the game you're supporting hasn't evolved either. Now, I would also take issue with the fact that you're saying that I don't. I was excited about Deus Ex and Skyrim, which are sequels as well. And you're like, well, those are fundamentally the same because Skyrim's about a guy with a sword who kills a dragon, and what fantasy game hasn't done that? There is a world of fucking difference, a world of difference. And besides that, you are minimizing the argument. I'm talking about, Skyrim. I'm talking about a game, Skyrim and Deus Ex. These games are sequels to games that were made a couple of years ago, or maybe in what Oblivion's case, like 3 or 4 years ago. There's a world of difference between that, even if it were true, which is not. But there's a world of difference between that and a game, Skyward Sword, which is fundamentally the same as Ocarina of Time. So, and besides that, I could go on a much bigger list of things that are different from Skyrim and Deus Ex that are different from the previous games. You can't just throw up Deus Ex and say, oh, well, it's about a super spy with cybernetics fighting a shadowy organization. It's basically the same game. That's bullshit, and you know it. It is. So, did I like Zelda 2? Yeah. But, I mean, I even if I was willing to, I could list off. I took notes during the presentation of all the things that were different I remember from Oblivion to Skyrim. But is there really any point? I mean, I could go on if you want, but here's the thing about the straw man argument is you can't bring up an example of something else to use it to deflate my argument against the thing we're talking about. You can't just say, well, Halo hasn't changed, so why should Zelda change? Now, the real argument. Hang on, I'm reading comments. Okay, yeah, Linkar is he was actually talking about the exact same thing I was going to talk about. Is the argument is that Ocarina of Time is a great game. So if it's so great, why bother changing what works? Okay, that is a good argument. And here's the thing. You could have the best steak in the world, okay? You could have a restaurant that makes the best steaks in the world, and all you sell is steaks. Every day, all you sell is steaks. After a little while, people are going to get tired of steaks, no matter how good it is. You keep feeding people the same thing day in and day out, people are going to want something new, something fresh, something original. You got to do something different with it. Otherwise, you're going to come off as unoriginal, you're going to come across as stale, and you're going to come across like a guy who can't keep up with the times. There's nothing wrong with turning out steak every once in a while, but you've got to change. You've got to evolve at some point. I know I brought up steak, and now everyone's hungry. Meisterly, it's not really the same, is it? Or is putting a spell in each hand so different from turning into a wolf? It is different. It is. Because there's so much more. You're minimizing the issue again. Is you're taking one feature that I mentioned and turning it into the main argument. The fact that you can combo spells together is a major feature. Not to mention the fact that they have a whole new load of spells. The way they interact is completely different, and the way the character generation, the character system is based, whether you improve skills and attributes and improve your spells, is a much bigger feature than simply turning into a wolf and navigating some minor maze. Every once in a while, it's a completely different, much bigger issue. The fact that Wind Waker had a boat, which was, by the way, the worst part of that game, does not make it a completely different game. Art style aside, it really is pretty much exactly the same game. Yeah, why do you bring up the boat? That was the worst part. That boat was bullshit. You could argue that Zelda is pretty much its own genre. Yeah, but that's not to say that it can't evolve. I mean, here we go. Here's the problem. Well, not a problem, but Zelda makes a ton of money because people buy it all the time, and I guess that was my main complaint. That's why I said I can't believe why people keep backing up Zelda. I really can't because hang on, I'm reading. I can't believe it because once again, you're kind of. I can't believe people haven't gotten tired of it by now. That's what I can't believe. You know, Majora's okay. Here, that was the best one. I love that. I love that argument. What about Majora's Mask? Very different structure and story. Okay, first off, I completely disagree with you that it's different in terms of structure and story. But let's just assume that it's true. It's not true, but let's just assume that it is true. You're talking about a game. When was that made? When was Majora's Mask made? Tell me. 10 years ago? 2000? 10 years ago. Your counterexample is a game that was made 10 years ago. That's all you got? So even if I agreed with you, no. But yeah, I mean, Miyamoto made a lot of announcements. I don't know what he said, but I can understand why they're so resistant to change. I do, because they're making a lot of money as it is now, and the one time they tried to break the formula, The Adventure of Link, the second game, the fans fucking rebelled. Oh my god, it was they must have had to burn the angry fanboys off the walls of Nintendo headquarters with cauldrons of boiling fucking pitch. It was that bad. It seems as though you don't actually have a point and are just trying to downplay other people's points. Okay, make a point. I'm just reading comments right now. No, I don't want to ignore him. I want to talk to him. Like, can you back up your point about Majora's Mask? Explain how they are essentially the same for us. It's a different game in almost every regard, bar the characters. Okay, you thought I was downplaying the argument that Majora's Mask is completely different. I'll tell you the truth. I barely played Majora's Mask because I found it so similar to fucking Ocarina of Time. Seriously, I played Majora's Mask for like 4 hours, and I was like, this is the exact same game. I got burned out. I played Ocarina of Time. I finished it. I got essentially burned out on the game. I played Majora's Mask, played it for a little while. I was like, this is exactly the same game, and I returned it to Blockbuster. That's your story. Oh, I know, oh, Benzai, I know. There are hardcore Majora's Mask fans. I remember saying that. I remember Majora's Mask got brought up in an argument one time, and oh my god, it was brutal when I said it was like I fucking it was like I fucked their mothers. Zelda CDI. That's not a good example, dude. No, Mario's innovated. My problem with Mario is the fact that he's been prostituted to every single everything that Nintendo can think of. Whenever they have a generic title like a sports game, or they've got a party game, or they've got a swimming game, or a pinball game, let's just throw Mario in it because people love Mario and they'll buy anything with Mario in it. That's my big problem with Mario. Mario, shit, that motherfucker's evolved. Yeah, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I'm going to talk about that little later on. I was actually working on Final Fantasy 13 too when I decided to come on here, so I gotta. Once I'm done here, I'm going to go finish that. But yeah, well, that's my big problem with Mario is essentially he's a prostitute. Mario Dance Dance Revolution. They might actually be coming out with that. I remember seeing that may not be too far off because I remember seeing a couple of kid-oriented dance games. What was it, like Lego Rock Band and stuff like that? It exists. Okay. Mario DDR. Shit. There is a Mario. Okay. Okay. But to go back to the argument that Halo hasn't evolved and shooters haven't evolved. I'm with you. I agree. That's not to say I'm letting them off the hook either. Sonic. Well, Sonic actually, the funny thing about Sonic is the fact they've tried to evolve. They have tried with Shadow the Hedgehog and all the various 3D Sonics. They have tried. I give them props for trying. It's never worked. Really, like they have disastrously bad Sonic games. I have lost count of the shitty Sonic games. But I can appreciate the fact they tried. Now, they gave up with what was it, Sonic Chronicles or Sonic Adventures, where they kind of did the episodes things, where it's essentially a remake of the original Genesis game. It's that I was really disappointed in that, where they kind of gave up. But I honestly can't fault them for wanting to try new things. But as for the shooters, I don't let shooters off the hook. I called out Halo specifically. Do you remember the video I did for Halo ODST in 5 seconds, where I took a label maker and I just put ODST over like Halo 2 or something like that? I'm not letting Halo off the hook. Fucking Halo hasn't evolved since Halo 1. The fact they add in dual wielding as a mechanic, and which is different from the dual spellcasting in Skyrim, by the way. Don't even fucking bring that up, because that's different and you know it. But the fact you can dual wield fucking pistols in that game, or the fact they throw in jetpacks that you use for 30 seconds in one fucking level, does not make that a different game. But yeah, I call out Halo all the time on that. I lost interest in Halo after Halo 2 when I realized it was the same game. With Halo, you're essentially buying map packs. It's fun as fuck, but the multiplayer is fun as fuck. And that's the only thing that has ever been the good thing about Halo, is the fact that it's one of those games where it's fast and easy to pick up and play, and it's a good multiplayer game. Now, yeah, Uncharted. Now you are going to hit me with there. I was going to talk about a couple of which is going to brand me as a hypocrite, with Uncharted and Mass Effect 3. I saw those two games. I went to. You know how fucking hard it was to get in to see Mass Effect 3, by the way? Shit. It was. They were letting 5 press in at a time. 5. They were making appointments 2 days in advance. I got in the third day. I basically had to that was the first thing I went to on the third day, was Mass Effect 3. So, Mass Effect 3 and Uncharted, same game. Same. Which is actually kind of astounding, because I recall Uncharted is not made by Naughty Dog anymore. Somebody told me that. It's made by, I think it's made in-house now. And the fact that it's so similar, even though it's not made by Naughty Dog, is amazing. But yeah, they're the same game, and I'm still really excited about it. Now, as I said, there is a lot of difference between Mass Effect 3, which was made 2 years ago, being similar to the previous game, and a game that is fundamentally similar. It is developed by Naughty Dog. Okay. There's a difference between a game that was made from a sequel like 1 or 2 years ago. Why did they tell me Naughty Dog still make it? You're interrupting my point. There's a difference between a game that was made 2 years ago and a game that's fundamentally the same as one made in the early 90s. But Zelda isn't built around story. I agree. Which I don't know why that is. Why is that? Why? No, really, I know it's for kiddies, And I know, but like, no, Zelda never did have much of a story. But like, why is that so hard? Let's just forget about the unoriginality of it for now. Let's just forget that. Why could they never tell an epic story based around Zelda? Why do they have to fuck with the timeline? So like they're not even trying. They've never attempted to have any kind of series continuity. And I know you can argue with the Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. I don't fucking care. I've heard people explain, oh, but Skyward Sword is so awesome. It tells the origin of the Master Sword. Oh my god. You guys are actually assuming there's an overriding continuity of this series? Good fucking luck explaining that one. But I just never understood. You've got this. There is no. The timeline is not all kinds of messed up. There is no timeline. And I don't know why. The Minish Cap. Fuck you. The Minish Cap. A Game Boy Advance? That was Game Boy Advance, right? Jesus Christ. No. But, okay, no. Okay, slow down. You don't argue the fact that, you're arguing Game Boy titles, you're arguing Game Boy Advance titles. Fuck me, Minish Cap was a fun game. Okay. It was fun. Okay, fine, it was fun. I don't care. It was the same thing as Zelda 1, but fuck it. But you can't argue plot elements with a game that's essentially the same story repeated over and over again. I just don't know why it's so hard to actually tell an overarching storyline with the Zelda games. You've got key characters, you've got a recurring villain. I just don't know why they can't tell us a story in sequence. I've never understood that. Twisted Metal. Um, they were showing off the. Actually, I should talk about Twisted Metal. You'll see. I'll probably make a video. The thing is, I got this. I'm so overworked right now. I've got to fly out on Friday, and I'm trying to get as many videos out as I can. I'm trying to get the E3 shit out fast because I got to get it. I got to write a review by Friday. I got to write a whole review. I got to watch this movie and write. And shit. Yeah, I got to take basically Thursday and do that. Oh my god. And I got so much E3 shit to comb through. No, I don't have an editor. I am stressed as a motherfucker. So, I might, you might actually be seeing E3 stuff next week. I hate to do that because E3 news is the kind of stuff that has an expiration date. Like, if I'm talking about this a week later, I don't know, it might not go over that well. But I got to get the script done by Friday. No, well, it's not a matter of patience. It's a matter of fact that if I'm still talking about E3 like 2 weeks from now, you're not going to care. And then I got so much stuff I got to do. These, yeah, these are This is a Razer headset. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. I think you're right, Timmerman. I think you're right. I've been dealing with shit today too. My downstairs air conditioner broke. I had to deal with that. It's 110 fucking degrees out here. Do I recall any of the Deus Ex questions I had to cut out? I don't think I really cut out any questions. There, I remember asking, how was it challenging to? I mean, I asked what her inspiration was for making a prequel, and how was it? What was it like designing the setting and the societal problems that having cybernetics deal with what was it like designing the setting? What was your inspiration for designing the setting? Was it difficult making a character Adam Jensen where you have so many role-playing choices be a consistent character, you know? And she mainly talked about the part that mainly got cut out was she was talking about who Adam works for and the fact that he essentially becomes this cybernetic agent against his will. Like he gets injured in an attack, and they kind of make him into the $6 million man with surgery. And so they're talking about that shit. And so she went on for like 30 seconds talking about that in the radio. The wireless microphone just kind of went off. XCOM is tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do XCOM tomorrow. Shit, it's gonna be funny. I'm doing 13.2 is probably gonna be tonight. As soon as I get off the stream with you guys, I'm gonna edit that. I didn't see Child of Eden there. Anyway, we're here to talk about. No, you'll see the reviews. You'll see reviews soon, but we're here to talk about Nintendo. So I'm trying to field questions from Nintendo. No, I have not played the leak of Deus Ex, and I do not endorse any attempt to do so. You're not talking about Nintendo. I pretty much said I got a bunch of footage for Street Fighter X Tekken, and honestly, I think I said pretty much all I had to say about that. I think the most interesting part of that game is seeing how fans deal with it, seeing how Tekken fans specifically deal with. That could be a big betrayal moment for them, is seeing their Tekken characters translated to Street Fighter. Okay. The fan. That's another thing that kind of bothers me is when people. This is not a good argument either, where people go, well, how would you fix the Legend of Zelda franchise if you're so smart? That's not a very good argument, but that's not my job. It's not my problem, you know, for me to fix it. Do I have any ideas? How would I make the Transformers movie better? I would have robots fighting robots. Which, believe it or not, is probably too much to ask for with Michael Bay. Well, hang on. That's how I'd fix Zelda 2, robots fighting robots. How would I fix Zelda? Honestly, I could stand to see them do a sci-fi version of Zelda. Take it to space, man. You think I'm kidding? Could work. That's betrayal. Wouldn't have to be betrayal. You make a dark, gritty, dystopian future. Okay, not space. Let's not do space, but let's do like a, a kind of a future noir city. where it's all industrial and people got cybernetics and shit like that, and you've got this kind of gritty, hard drinking Link, who's like a gang leader. He rides a bike and shit, and so he's got this lightsaber sword, and and so his girlfriend, I don't know, his fucking girlfriend gets kidnapped by a science lab to develop her psychic powers or shit, and the guy's name is Dr. Ganon, and he's got a fuck man, that'd be awesome. Steampunk. That was steampunk. You can do that. Yeah, Zelda 2: The Quickening. Good call, Benzai. This is one idea I had. Yes. One idea. There's other ideas. But this is why you don't ask me to fix Zelda. this is this, this is why I'm not the guy to do it. This is why it's not a good argument. But that's not to say that it's impossible. Like, just because I can't think of a reason that makes you happy, or a setting that makes you happy, doesn't mean they can't tell a fucking story with continuity. It doesn't mean they can't take a fantasy world and tell a new story with it. It doesn't mean they can't just try to fucking explore a little bit and get out of this rut where you have a pigman kidnapping a princess. It can't be that hard. Witcher style Zelda? Yeah. That would be fucked up. Okay, here's an idea. Okay, I got one. I got one. Here's an idea. Why don't they make this is not out that far out, I would think. Why do they not make an RPG out of Zelda? Turn-based or real-time, either one. It doesn't seem that foreign a concept, does it? It could be first person, it could be, Final Fantasy style. I don't see why they can't. Yeah, Zelda into a Tales of Hyrule game. This is not that impossible. I know Sean has much rage toward Metroid Other M. The only reason I don't have nearly as much rage is because I didn't have to play it. What's the argument that D&D hasn't evolved? If you don't think D&D's evolved, clearly you haven't played 3rd and 4th edition. Clearly you haven't. Now, you could argue it hasn't evolved for the better, and I might agree with you, but to say it has not changed, that's full of shit. No, I'm not gonna rant. I'm not gonna rant about D&D, except to say that whoever thinks it hasn't evolved is wrong, measurably and provably wrong. Why don't I play D&D with Lord Cat anymore? Well, he called me a fucking monkey in a stream, so I think he kind of burned his bridge there. He got mad. He got mad because uh, I think at GDC he was trying to talk to. I think it was the developer. I think it was the guys who made Minecraft, and they wouldn't talk to him. They wouldn't give him an interview because it was because of shit Joe and I did at E3, the whole betrayal thing, and that really got under his It really got under his skin. Um, so he thought I was unprofessional, and he thought I was a fucking monkey. He thought I was acting like a jackass. He's right. It was unprofessional. Am I mad at him? No. I can't change the way he feels. In fact, I agree with how he feels. If I went to GDC and I got embarrassed because of if if Joe or some Lord Cat, I'd probably feel embarrassed too. So I can't disagree with him. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the guy. Trust me. Any criticism you have against me, I'm more than likely going to agree with you. Unprofessional, angry, yeah. Biased, yeah. Thank you, Benzai. Thank you. If I were to disagree with what he said, is the fact that I go to E3 not as an unbiased journalist. I probably have called myself a journalist on occasion, but if I go to E3, it's as an editorial journalist. I'm not going as a character. I'm just speaking my mind, keeping it real. I don't think you'd trust me if I went there and kissed ass and didn't say a bad thing about anything and pretended to be excited about everything. I don't think you'd trust me. I don't think you'd watch. Now, was it over the line to go screaming betrayal at the convention? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But I was mad. It was when keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah. Who said I was unprofessional? I'm saying it. I'm saying I'm an unprofessional. Oh, you guys see the water back there? Yeah, I went shopping to Costco. I made it. That's why it's so messy back there. I went to Costco. I bought a lot of shit, and it's all back there. I gotta clean up. I've been working on E3 videos nonstop, so I've been kind of a slob. What do I think of the Wii U? I think I told you. There, I really don't have much of an opinion on the Wii U. There wasn't much to see. That really, all they had, they showed us what it was and how it worked, and the fact that it had motion controls. And so there were really two games they had to show for the Wii U, and one was like you have this little guy who's running around, and you hold the tablet up, and you have crosshairs, and so you kind of run around using the controller, and you shoot people with the crosshairs on your thing. It worked. And the other thing was this pirate shoots arrows at you, and you hold it up like a shield, and it blocks the arrows. But there wasn't much to see, so I actually wasn't going to come down too much on the Wii U because they just demonstrated that it worked. They demonstrated what like two things it could do. So they didn't announce any games. I think the one game they announced was Alien Colonial Marines, which I thought was kind of funny. Um, yeah, it was a tech demo. So I basically in that one I said it probably wouldn't work because the Wii did. I don't think the Wii ever worked either, but um, I really don't think Wiimotes work. They don't work as well as they ever promised. I really think it's slow and laggy. And guess what? The Wii U is still going to use Wiimotes. But like I said, I said probably. I don't know. But I wasn't gonna. I mean, I couldn't make any pronouncements because I haven't played a single solitary game for it. I just told you basically the stats. I like Just Dance. Okay, here's the thing with Just Dance. Um, I think the fan actually is from the 70s. Yes. The thing with Just Dance is I like the. There's two things I like about it, and I like them a lot. I like the song selection, and I like the party mode, and I like them way better than every other dancing game that's currently made. I don't like the motion controls, and I don't think it scores for shit. But if you just want to get people around the TV at a party dancing to really fun songs, doing really great and fun dance routines, Just Dance is the best game you could possibly get. Way more fun than Dance Central. Way more. And if you don't believe me, ask anyone who was at that guy with the glasses third anniversary, where we were in Doug's basement playing. We played the Michael Jackson Experience for the Kinect, and then we got bored with it and played Just Dance 2. And Mars Girl and I, several people played Just Dance 2. Mars Girl and I did a pairs dance where we played that. You know that song at the end of Beetlejuice, "Shake Your Body" line. That song at the end of that. We did this couples dance, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. And Just Dance 3 was at E3, and it was fucking brilliant. Jump in the line. Okay, jump in the line. But Dance Central is just now catching up with the fact that when you play that game, when you play a dance game, you're playing at a party, and you might actually want to have more than one person dancing at a time. It blew my mind they finally realized that. And I don't like Dance Central because, and this is just me, I think Dance Central really overemphasizes, has too much of a focus on modern pop music. I don't think it goes further back in, there's, yeah, Take on Me, I Was Made for Loving You Baby by Kiss. Those are the main ones, but they have Just Dance has such a further reaching, wider range of music from the 70s to today. And Dance Central is basically limited to the last 2 years. Now, if you like that, fine. If you like the modern dance, you want to dance to Lady Gaga, cool. Get Dance Central. But that's why I like Just Dance 2 and 3 more than Dance Central. That's it. Zelda dance game. Oh, actually, shit. There's a Dance Central 2 '80s medley pack. Ooh, I like that. I want it. I love Dance Central 2. I didn't fucking play those games, but I love Dance Central 2. And believe it or not, I liked the Michael Jackson Experience on Wii much better than I like the Kinect version. I think the Kinect version is horrible. It it makes you stop dancing, so you have to sing the songs, and the dances aren't even as close as they are to the original Michael Jackson dances as they are in the Wii. I think the Wii dances, they don't make you sing, and the dances on the Wii version are much more faithful to the actual dances in the video. Not completely accurate, but more accurate. Oh shit, Duke Nukem. Yeah, here, seriously. See this? This came in the mail. I pre-ordered it. I haven't opened it yet, and I don't even know if I'm going to. I might seriously just send this back. I've heard such bad things about Duke. I'll hold on to it for a day. I don't have to return it now, but it exists. It does exist. What I don't get, and this is, this is argument against the failure of this game today, and why it's taken so long to make this game. Here's my main complaint. All they had to do, the only thing they had to do, was remake Duke 3D. Remake it. And I know they did an HD version of it at some point, but all they had to do was make a mission pack, maybe throw in a couple more guns, and people would have been happy. Make a map pack. And I don't know why that's. I never understood why that was so hard. Development hell, whatever. You get a couple map designers, you throw that shit together, and you populate. So you don't want the game to change. I'm not. Okay. You're calling me out again. What I'm saying is, Duke 3D was never exactly complicated. Okay? It was, on an intellectual level, it's on the same level as Doom. So I just don't know why it took so long to make what essentially all you needed was a map pack. Redesign the guns, do a map. That's all you got. I mean, that's all you got. The fact it took this long it blows my mind, and the fact that they apparently fucked it up. I'm not. Why do I look so mad? I'm not mad. I'm stressed. You guys have actually reminded me of a couple of videos I still got to make for E3 because I wanted to do Just Dance video, so I got to do that, and I got to do XCOM. That's probably going to be the big one. I am going to do XCOM, and if I do nothing else, I'm going to get XCOM tomorrow. Um, Final Fantasy 13-2 is today. It's going to be later tonight, probably around midnight. Ah, Timbits. Oh, I should have never. When I talked about the convention in Canada, I should have never mentioned Timbits because I just know I'm going to get like 3,000 boxes of Timbits. Which I appreciate. Don't get me wrong. I love Timbits, but I'm going to come out of that convention weighing 300 pounds. When is Final Fantasy 13 coming? When I'm done with 10-2. I don't know when that'll be, but 10 when 10-2 is done. And honestly, 10-2 will probably only be one or two parts. Spoony, are you going to Vienna with us in September? I can neither confirm nor deny my involvement with anything in Vienna, because I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it. Catherine, I don't know. I played the demo of Catherine. I wasn't able to focus much on the story. Um, it is very much unlike anything Atlas has done up to this point that I can remember. Uh, it played fine. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle game unlike anything I've played before, which is good. It makes you think in ways different than you're used to in most puzzle games. It's a puzzle game, and so it's very different from the RPGs I'm used to playing from Atlas. But and the fact that it has a story attached to it, a story attached to the puzzles, is also kind of intriguing. So if nothing else, I can safely say it's new. But I really won't know until I'm gonna buy it, but I really won't know until I've played it if I like it or not. BioShock Infinite. I'm not enthusiastic about BioShock Infinite because I didn't like BioShock 2 and I didn't really like BioShock 1. I thought it was honestly I thought it was pretty boring. WW12. I got a story about that. I wasn't allowed to get any footage. I probably could go to the press kit and get something now, but they wouldn't let me take footage off the screen. I wish I had, because this is the best story. I was playing, not the best story, but I was playing the game and I set up a match. I was the Miz, and I put myself against John Cena. And I'm playing this for like 5 minutes, and finally, I get my finisher. I get myself psyched up for a finisher, and so I grapple John Cena, and I go for the finisher. And I thought I was gonna do the skull crushing finale, but instead I locked John Cena in an abdominal stretch, and I made John Cena tap out to the fucking abdominal stretch. He tapped out. I made John Cena tap to an abdominal stretch. It was fucking awesome. Imagine, can you imagine if that ever happened on WWE TV? If the Miz made Cena tap out to an ab stretch, it would be. I was all of a sudden when he tapped out, I threw my hands in the air and I was so like, woo! He tapped out, and everyone's looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot. Gunner Pin stinks. Cena versus R-Truth for the title. I think Cena versus R-Truth will be a pretty good match, honestly. I don't think R-Truth stands a chance, but it should be an okay match. Tell the world how awesome Final Fantasy 12 is. I like 12. This is what I'm talking about. This is why. This is why. Me and you guys are so separate a lot of times. Where the one game that Final Fantasy fans hate is the one game I find tolerable. I thought 12 was okay. I can't really. No, 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 no. Okay, here's how. This is how you will enjoy 12 more. This is the key. And I was really honestly, I was really frustrated with 12 until I found this secret. This is the secret. Okay? The sooner that you can accept the fact that Vaughn is not in the game, the more you enjoy it. Vaughn is not in that game. He's not. Just as soon as you can get rid of him, get rid of him. He's not in the game. That's it. Because the story is Ash and Balthier. That's the stars of that story. The protagonists of that story are Ash and Balthier. Vaughn, I don't know what the fuck Vaughn is doing there, but he's not in that game. He's just some kind of guy. He's like he's just a kid. I don't know. I stopped paying attention to that motherfucker completely. Like 2 hours into that game, I was like, oh, it's the smuggler, it's the sky pirate who's the hero. Okay. So that is, but it really, that's everyone I've noticed who hates that game. They go, what the fuck was the point of Vaughn? Who the fuck let that guy in the game? Forget him. Fran? Fran didn't bother me. Vaughn is a little Jimmy. All the little Jimmies like Zelda. I'm a good Spoony. I would never say nothing bad about Zelda. I love that, Sean. I love that part where he's talking to John Cena. He's like, all the little Jimmies, they buy the John Cena T-shirts. They buy the John Cena armbands. I want my son back. Don't boo Spoony. Y'all should be booing yourself. So are we done talking about Zelda? Can I go home now? Can I, I know you're not happy. I know. Never. Can we assume you fap in the kitchen? No, but I've heard Lord Cat leaves the mic on when he does it. Oh, Yasmin, that hurt me. People are just annoyed that you paint the series with the same brush and say it's the same every time. We are fine with you not liking it, just the incorrect statement that's the problem. Okay. Tintin movie, that's news to me, man. I haven't heard about Tintin. You guys obsessed with the stuff back there way too much. I know there's a motherfucker right there who's looking at that fan, who's just obsessed with it. It's watching. Stop looking at it. Seriously, I know you guys are upset that there's a mess back there, okay? I'm sorry, there's a mess. I'm gonna clean it up. There's a fan in the kitchen because the air conditioner broke today. It's 110 fucking degrees outside. You assholes. Why is it always breaking? Oh, that's a story. Why did it break? That's shit. I could go on about that. So the guy comes to fix the air conditioner. Okay? Opens the fucker up, and he goes, huh. Well, the fan's not turning, and I know why. It's because whoever fixed it last time put the wrong size capacitor in the compressor fan. This is a 7.5, and you should have put a 5 in there. And I go, really? He goes, yeah. When you put too big a capacitor in there, it overheats the engine, it slags the ball bearings, the fan stops turning, and the air conditioner breaks. I go, oh. So, what about the other? Could you check the other air conditioner, the one upstairs? And he goes, yeah. So he opens it up, and he goes, no, they put the wrong size one in this one, too. And I go, well, could you fix that? And he goes, yeah. So basically, the guy who fixed the air conditioners last time put the completely wrong sized gadgets in the doohickey and caused the entire thing to burn out. And it's in all likelihood, had I not told him to look at the other air conditioner, that within a few weeks, the other air conditioner would have been destroyed as well. Worst case scenario, it would have caused a fire and maybe burned the house down. So the repairman I got today was much more qualified, and I'm very grateful to him for detecting this problem, because otherwise I might have died. So I was on the phone with the insurance company today trying to find out who the fuck repaired my air conditioner last time, so I don't go to them again and tell everyone I know not to go to them again. And by the way, it's Sensible Heat and Air Conditioning. Don't call them. They're fucking idiots. They might be sensible, but they're not qualified to fix a fucking air conditioner. Kid Icarus? I didn't honestly see Kid Icarus. Well, no, I did see Kid Icarus. I saw the, I trolled through the line, they had this big, I don't want to say theater, but like a balcony, where they had all these Nintendo DSs. I didn't play it, but I saw it. It looked okay. Honestly, it looked more, it looked like one of the more innovative titles they had. Really, I mean, I really don't think they could have possibly just ported over the original Kid Icarus to the modern console, so it didn't look like that. Favorite line in Big Trouble in Little China? That's a good question. I don't know. Son of a bitch must pay. Love that. Okay, you've got 5 minutes, and then I'm coming out. I'm gonna come out and do my work because I got to get E3 videos done. I'm really trying to field Nintendo questions because I want to put this debate to bed. Because this is your one chance to call me an asshole over Nintendo, and try to get me to admit that I'm wrong. How would I fix Zelda if I could? I'd make it an RPG. What do I think about the Earthbound series? I'm sure it's great in Japan. I don't think it translates well to American sensibilities at all. It's a fine game, but I don't think most of the humor translates. Will I play Skyward Sword? No. No. If I was gonna say a favorite one, I'd say the very first one, but okay. Final Dragoon probably summed it up as best as I've heard it. They don't have a problem with what I said, but how I said it. You're right. You're probably right. No, I know you're right. See, more than anything else, he made me feel bad about myself. See, that's always the criticism that gets to me is I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. So no, wait. Eternal Sonata. I guess no one can prove Spoony wrong about his opinion. Now, see, you're coming across like your butt hurt. Okay, really, like this isn't about proving me right or wrong. Okay, but I really don't want people coming away all butt hurt like I wouldn't listen to you. Because this is why I'm here. I'm listening to you. So if you've got something to say, say it. I think he's typing. I'm in suspense now because I want to know if he's going to say something. Oh well. Kingdom Hearts. I could talk about Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is one of those things where I uh, I really don't like Kingdom Hearts, but but that's not to say that I don't get why people like Kingdom Hearts. My personal really only reason I don't like Kingdom Hearts is just personal preference. I do not get the appeal of the the Disney Square crossover thing. It really is just like an alien thought to me. I have never understood the appeal behind it. But that's not to say I don't get why people like it. It's just that one I chalk up entirely to personal preference. No, Kingdom Hearts is not balls. Jamek, it is not balls. I never said that. I said I don't like it. That's it. And can I come up with a single good reason why I don't? Well, yeah, the gummy ships, but other than that, not really. Now, here's the funny thing. Now, they didn't show this on the floor, or at least if they did, I didn't see it. But Final Fantasy 13 Versus. Sean showed me the trailer for that. That game actually looks pretty good. I'm serious. It really does look like one of the most gorgeous fucking games I've ever seen in my life. And the gameplay looks... It was on the floor? I didn't see it. Shit. I wish I'd have seen it now. I didn't see everything, guys. I'm sorry, but if it was on the floor, I really wish I had seen it because I would have liked to have done a brief review on that one and kind of cover that in the 13 review I'm doing. In fact, I wonder if I could talk about it now. But the reason it looks good is because the gameplay mode is very different from 13. In fact, it plays pretty much like Kingdom Hearts. And Sean pointed that out, and so it looked really good. Hang on, somebody is being very persistent and asked me a question. Tell me about the Razer Hydra motion control. You were pretty brief about it. I don't think it was the Hydra. The motion controller in the last video I made. Why do I like it? Because it's. I thought I was very clear on why I liked it. Because it's precise. Because it's fast. There's virtually no lag or latency between inputs and what you see on the screen. It allows for basically every range of motion and torque you could put on a motion control. It's fast, precise, and it's good. I think Pokemon's for kids. If you want to know what I think about Pokemon, I think it's for kids. Happy birthday, Katie Marie 615. How old are you now? And before you get pissy on me for saying Pokemon's for kids, it is for kids. I don't care if you play it. Seriously, when we were at Kickassia, and we were at more so at Kickassia than the third anniversary, but whenever anyone was not shooting, 8 out of 10 were playing the Pokemans. So. Tell your brother a big fan about Miles being the unsung hero of TSE. Okay. I cannot tell you about Suburban Nights, not until it's out. No, I'm not flying out to film the third anniversary. It's something else. It's different, completely different. Don't worry about it. I did play Fire Emblem. Yeah. I thought it was okay. But what I didn't know was, hang on. Ah. What I didn't know in Fire Emblem at first is when a character dies in Fire Emblem, they're gone. There's no raising. They don't come back. Nothing. They're dead. I did not know that at first. They don't. I don't think they warn you about that. I think I played the very first Fire Emblem. Yeah, that was I had to backtrack a little bit. No. I only lost 2 guys, but I got a couple missions in, and I was like, "Where are my 2 guys?" The chick on the Pegasus, and she was just gone. Mass Effect 3. I'm going to talk about Mass Effect 3 in a video. It looks great. I honestly, I mean, and this is where I catch heat for being a hypocrite because it looks essentially like the same game as 2. but it still looks fantastic. From a storytelling standpoint, it looks fantastic. Now, what I don't know, what's really interesting is I don't know how they're going to deal with character deaths in between 2 and 3, because there's a lot of characters who appear in the who appeared in the demo for Mass Effect 3, like Morden and Legion, guys like that. And the funny thing is, um, when I first played Mass Effect 2, I basically went. It wasn't because I was bored with it, but I went straight to the Omega Gate, and my crew got kidnapped. And so I had not completed. I only completed like 3 loyalty missions. I completed Zaid's loyalty mission and like who else? Zaid and Tali's loyalty missions, and I think I did. Um, I want to say Miranda, but it's not Miranda. It was Zaid, Tali, and Garrus. Yeah, I did Garrus. So I did like 3 loyalty quests. But then my crew got kidnapped, and when my crew got kidnapped, I went straight over there because I was going to save them. So I basically beat the game, but I only finished like 3 loyalty quests, and so virtually everybody got killed during the final mission. Like fucking everybody. The only guys I survived. What was weird was the guys who survived at the end weren't necessarily the guys who were loyal. So okay, well you're gonna get spoilers, but I think the only guys to survive the end of Mass Effect 2 were Miranda, Legion, and Zaid. And I think Tali made it. Yeah, Legion, Zaid, Tali, and Miranda. Those are the 4 guys who lived. And like, there was this huge stretch of coffins in the cargo bay, and my character's all sad, and he's like, "Oh fuck, what did I do?" Um, it, now I know what's funny now is people people kind of got on me. They're like, "How could you do that? Like, why didn't you finish the loyalty quests? Like, how could you? What were you thinking?" Well, the first thing is I didn't know that was going to spur endgame, but in a way, I'm not I'm not actually that unhappy that it happened that way, because I played through on my second playthrough. I'm playing through as a Paragon. My first playthrough, the one that got fucked up, was as a Renegade. So in a way, it kind of made sense for my Renegade character, because my guy was all about finishing the mission, like right now. Ends justify means. So when my character's crew got kidnapped, he was my character was very loyal to his crew. So I went out and I did the thing. A lot of people got killed, but we accomplished the mission. So in a way, I'm kind of happy that my Renegade kind of got the blood and guts style ending. I kind of liked it that way. And besides that, here's what I really like, is the fact that my Renegade save has these deaths on it. Now, what I'm interested to see is how those deaths are resolved in Mass Effect 3, because I'm actually kind of trying to see how it keeps going with the plot. Um, and besides that, my my character is kind of unlike everyone else's character, which I kind of dig as well. So, for instance, like I know almost all of you, they all get rebuilt just like Shepard did. That if they do that, okay. Um, but I just wonder, like seriously, I do wonder, because my character is kind of unlike every one of your characters, because I know almost everyone who played this game wanted to uh, wanted to get through with like 100% completion, get everyone through alive. So I know the vast majority of you did that where everyone lived. I'm really hoping my experience is different, because I had a lot of people who died, and I'm wondering if that's going to be the case. Um, yeah. Who did I romance in Mass Effect 1 and 2. I cheated on the blue chick. The blue chick treated me like shit in Mass Effect 2. She did. She never called. She never wrote. She never posted me pictures of her vajayjay on Twitter. What did she ever do for me? Yeah, I cheated on her. I think my renegade character fucked Jack on a cargo crate, and then tried to get in Tali's pants because no one else had. Now that'll be interesting as well. In a way, I wish I hadn't cheated on the blue chick because I bet that actually has some effects because I actually do think Liara returns in 3. I'm pretty sure I saw her in the demo. Um, I think she comes back as a playable character, so I'm actually kind of curious to see how she deals with you if you cheat on her versus not having cheated on her. It probably is just like one throwaway line, but it's kind of curious. Old Republic, I have no changing opinion on that one just because it I honestly think it's pretty much the same demo as it has been since I saw it at the last E3. I mean, it's evolved some since then, but I pretty much said what I had to say last year. Sly 4, I'm all for another Sly game. We'll see. Skyward Sword is adding more RPG elements, item upgrades, and optional crafting systems. Opinion? I'll believe it when I see it. Final Fantasy X-2 is probably going to start. I'd say late next month. Who's asking me about Golden Sun? I didn't even see fucking Golden Sun. All the blue chicks look the same to me. Okay, I'm gonna go, you guys. I hope you found this discussion enlightening. How is Lisa? Lisa's a cool girl. Lisa's very cool. She had to leave early because of there was a problem. So I hope she's okay. But yeah, she was a lot of fun to hang out with. Do I know what Todd in the Shadows? Yeah, I do. Although his appearance changes, he's kind of an amorphic being. He's different every time you see him. I'm gonna I'm gonna clean up. See that? I'm gonna clean it all up. As soon as I get Final Fantasy 13 2 done, we're gonna get some cleanup. Anyway, have fun, you guys.